Welcome to Life is Styn, where our goal is to make your life yours again. And today I'm going to be talking about a topic I think many people struggle with and creates a lot of suffering in their lives. I know it did for me growing up, and that is insecurities. Everyone everywhere has their own set of challenges when it comes to being insecure, whether you're male or female or other. And no matter what your race, religion, or beliefs are, you never know what someone is going through. Humans are some of the toughest, most resilient creatures I have ever seen. We can have some of the greatest qualities, and some people rise above their circumstances and create something different from it. Now, for those in which they let their circumstances get the best of them and form them, I have the most sincere compassion for. I've been down both roads and I've made many mistakes in my life and done plenty I'm not proud of. But that was then, and this is now. It doesn't matter what happened then anymore because all I can do is control my thoughts and actions now and learn from what I did in the past and do what I feel is aligned with my intent in this life. I used to beat myself up and be very hard on myself in a very toxic way, and it made my life hell. Nothing is worse than when you're your biggest enemy, and worst of all, if you don't even like or love yourself, especially when you have to live with that person 24/7. A lot of our insecurities stem from not being enough, not doing enough, or not having enough. Much like the reason we have fears. Now, why is that? Because fear and insecurities are both lower frequency emotions of the scale, in such a way they can seemingly blend together. Now, mind you, when I say lower, I don't mean better or worse than anything else. Emotions just tell you where you're at, and they give you information as what to do next. They're indicators. There's nothing wrong with experiencing lower or higher frequency emotions. All are sacred and part of life. But remember that suffering is optional here. Now, how can we alleviate our insecurities? Whether it be not being strong enough, or making enough money, or having that perfect car or house, whether it be not having that perfect body, or be attractive enough. Now, whatever it may be, realize these insecurities stem from our society and make us feel obligated to follow these standards set by our culture. Now, while this can be the case, of course, insecurities can stem from anywhere, from deep seated trauma of being cheated on or betrayed, or being abused mentally or physically. Maybe it's generational trauma, like your family not having enough money growing up, or maybe it's insecurity stemming, from any parts of your childhood. At any point in your life, you may develop an insecurity. Now, we might all be familiar with insecurities, but unless you can recognize them in yourself, you can't heal them. You can't heal something you aren't aware of. But now, say you have acknowledged that you have insecurities. Well, where do they come from? A lot of our past life can trickle into our current life and control much of it. But it's up to us to heal that part of us and realize that it doesn't have to be a part of our life now. A lot of the ways we conduct ourselves are by using the defense mechanisms that worked while we were growing up. Because even if they were unhealthy or toxic to the ego, they still worked. And so we'll continue to use those defense mechanisms, but we don't need to keep holding onto the tools that helped us in the last project. They might not be able to help us in the upcoming project. The tools I needed to build a house are much different than the tools I need to fix a car. And just because the saw and hammer worked great on the house doesn't mean they're going to work great on the car. If anything, it's going to make the car worse. Now, I said in a previous episode we want to build a solid foundation and put a skyscraper on it. But to do that, we need to put scaffolding up. But once the building is done, we don't need the scaffolding anymore. So now let's talk about how to heal from insecurity. Everyone is different. Everyone is unique. In that way, we are all the same, but you need to figure out what works for you. For me, what helped is acknowledging that there's no one better or worse than you. We are all the way that we are, mostly due to how life molded us. And if you were to swap shoes since the beginning, you would have probably ended up the same way as others. Accepting yourself and realizing you are perfect just the way you are. That doesn't mean we can't still make improvements. A big way insecurities develop is caring what others think. But the funny thing about that is that people are so involved in themselves that even when they're talking about you, they're projecting themselves onto you and probably don't actually care as much as you think they do. Most people are so self involved in their own lives that they use you to make themselves feel better about themselves. But usually, when they're alone and stuck in their own head, they suffer the most. So, who cares what they think? Okay, and then being perfect. obviously there's society's view of how to be perfect, not making mistakes, doing things correct the right way. But no, making mistakes is part of being human, and that's what makes you perfect, is even all the missteps along the way. Now, listen, here at The Life of Styn, people are going to say, you changed. What happened to you? And you're damn right you changed. You're growing and outgrowing old mind patterns and behaviors. You're becoming the best version of yourself. And people who stay in the same frequency aren't going to understand it. When taking my life back and making the changes I did, it helped the people around me most, but it didn't mean they understood or accepted it. But it didn't matter. If I understand and accept it, it's enough for me. And now my life is the best it ever has been. And it's not because of the material possessions or the people in it per se. It's because of the quality of my mind. It's because I'm not my biggest enemy anymore. And it's because I don't hate myself anymore. And we learned that the mental manifests in the physical. It's science, it's spirit, it's whatever you want to call it. But when I hated myself, I hated the universe. And now when I love myself, I love the universe. The inside was the outside, and the outside was the inside. The whole world is going to try and challenge you. It will test what you have learned to see if you're ready for the next step. That's why we can usually find ourselves experiencing repeating problems, because we haven't learned what we're supposed to from it yet, so it will keep occurring until then. Sometimes you need to outgrow friends or toxic family so you can find supportive and good people to be around who help you grow instead of sink. Sometimes you need to find a healthy environment, and if you can't do that, you can make a healthy environment in your mind, and then the outside will have no choice but to honor it. It's law. Now, complete acceptance of yourself leaves no room for insecurity, and you can't keep beating yourself up. Listen, no one else can carry your pain except you, so don't beat yourself up for having such a sour attitude or by being ungrateful. Your pain isn't better or worse than anyone else's. Everyone experiences pain and joy. To compare and contrast is to make a distinction. And distinction can be a tool to help you see both sides of the coin, but when used to separate, it's discrimination. Now, there was two things I could do growing up, and it was become someone I could love or accept and love who I am now. Life is an infinite series of now. So if you don't love and accept yourself now, unless X, Y, and Z happens, you probably never will. Now, if you find a way to love and accept yourself now and then still strive for who you want to be, an incredible thing will happen. You will skyrocket through your progression. Now, I've shared a lot because let's start, I've shared a lot, but let's start a more linear process into healing. Because while we don't actually operate in a linear manner, in society we try to. When healing, we have to face the dark night of the soul. Maybe you've heard that before, but that's just the parts of us we don't wish to look at or acknowledge because the ego wants to paint itself in the best light or the worst light. Either way, it does it because it wants to paint itself what it thinks is the best way to exist, and then it needs to exist and survive as that entity, which could be oh so wrong and oh so ignorant. So, healing from insecurity. Healing from insecurity involves acknowledging and challenging negative self-talk, practicing self-compassion, and building self-esteem through positive self-affirmations and mindful self-care. It also includes surrounding yourself with supportive people and seeking professional help if needed, and focusing on personal growth and gratitude. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Okay, 1, acknowledge and challenge negative thoughts. Recognize the patterns of negative self-talk and compare yourself to others. Okay, question the validity of these thoughts and challenges, and challenge them with evidence-based reasoning. Now, on top of that, we can practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Forgive yourself for past mistakes and learn from them. Be kind and encourage yourself, especially during different times. Now, embrace the idea that everyone makes mistakes and that imperfection is part of the human experience. 3, build self-esteem and confidence. Focus on your strengths and positive qualities. Set realistic goals and celebrate your achievements, even the little ones. Engage in activities that bring you joy and make you feel good about yourself. Surround yourself with supportive and positive people who uplift you. Challenge limiting beliefs and embrace new experiences. 4, seek support and professional help. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or therapists about your insecurities. Consider attending support groups or workshops for personal growth and self-esteem enhancement, or even people who teach self-education or self-improvement. I mean, that's what I do, and now that's currently what I am doing. Now, if your insecurities are impacting your daily life or relationships, seek professional help from a therapist, a counselor, a mindset coach, a shaman, whatever it may be, whatever ascribes to your particular beliefs, whatever it may be. Practice mindful self care. Prioritize your physical and mental health through exercise, healthy eating, sufficient sleep. Engage in activities that help you relax and de stress, such as meditation, yoga, spending time in nature. Practice gratitude and focus on the positive aspects of your life. Embrace non comparison. Avoid comparing yourself to others, as this can fuel feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. Focus on your own journey and celebrate your individual growth and achievements. Okay, we're all on our own path. We're all on our own journey. We're all at different points of our life. That doesn't make me better than you. That doesn't make you better than me. Okay, we're all just trying to make it through what we call life, all right? Remember that everyone is on their own unique path and that comparing yourself to others is rarely helpful. Develop a sense of self acceptance. Accept all parts of yourself, including your strengths and weaknesses. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us perfect, is having strengths and weaknesses, having positive and negative emotions. Okay. Practice self approval and recognize your inherent worth. Focus on being authentic and true to yourself rather than trying to please others. Now, I hope something in this video has helped you. But most importantly, hopefully this video has provided you with something to help yourself. No one can help you but you, and no one can help someone not willing to participate in their own rescue. So it's up to you. But I want to share a couple things before I end this video. And that is, no matter the race or religion, at the end of the day, we are all still human. And some of the biggest factors that separate us are fear and ignorance. Even though in the end, there's nothing different about us at all. The all-wise accept all and everything as it is, while still using their own thoughts and actions to help create that which they desire. Most times when we reject something, it is because we don't understand it, and what we don't know, we tend to fear the most, and we act these fears out like animals. It's like there's a spectrum, and we can either choose to be more like the animals with the tribe mentality, or we can choose to rise above our animal instincts and survival slash defense mechanisms and embrace things like love, compassion, acceptance. Anyways, I think I've said all I need to. Please comment, like, subscribe, share with a friend, check out my podcast form or my video form. I want to know your opinions and thoughts. If you have any questions to clear up any potential misunderstandings, because this work is very tricky, and many times the axioms and parables can get lost in the sauce. And sometimes my work can be misinterpreted, and when that happens, a very helpful teaching can become very toxic. And I want to make sure we can avoid all those pesky traps on your journey towards your new life. Also, remember, everything is connected. So maybe you found some nuggets that you liked here that maybe didn't have anything to do with insecurity. And many of my videos are like that. Okay, they have those little nuggets. So even the videos that may not be practical to you, or maybe you don't care about, maybe they too will have those little nuggets of wisdom pertaining to your situation now. If you have questions, the universe is going to point you to the answers. If that is the case and this video found you, then it was not a coincidence. Now, have the day you were meant to have. Adonai.